Greetings, Virgo and Virgo rising. This is your Western forecast for December 2024. It's going to be a lot of chaos, generally speaking, in the world. Mars is going to be retrograde. That could be like frustrated energies, could be protesting. With Mercury, the planet of information communication, will also be retrograde. The first 2 weeks of December could be a lot of arguing, irritability, tension, and stress. And it may just be what you see with your friends or you see being reported on the news. Doesn't necessarily have to impact you directly. But let's start with, how is this impacting you personally? I always start with the new moon. The new moon is December the 1st, makes it easy. So all of December, your priority intentions, what the new moon is drawing your focus towards, is on home and family and real estate. Because the new moon in Sagittarius is 4 signs past Virgo. The 4th sector in astrology is home, family, and real estate. But this new moon is going to be squared or with this internal conflict with restricted, worrisome Saturn. Now, there could be a lot of worries and concern about your family, about your living situation. Now, Mercury is the ruling planet for Virgo. Mercury is that planet of information, communications, negotiations. Mercury went into Sagittarius at the beginning of November. Mars went into Leo at the beginning of November. So these energies I did talk a lot about in last month's video, but let's bring it back to December. So the Mercury in Sag, so your mind is planning, thinking, discussing with real estate matters, but also family matters. Now the Mercury went retrograde November the 25th until December the 15th. And you've heard that after Mercury goes direct, because it starts to slow down and stop on the 15th, and then slowly going forwards. So it's called the shadow period. That last 2 weeks of December, because the Mercury goes direct on December the 15th. And so think of it as it's taking 2 weeks for Mercury to catch up to its regular speed. So Mercury, the mind, it's still going to be slow and sluggish and maybe not all clear and confident for a couple of weeks. So all of December, Mercury is really worried and anxious and focused on family matters and or property and real estate. Mars goes into Leo, which is the shadow sector, or it's the sign prior to Virgo. Mars does not like being in Leo for Virgos, or it doesn't like being in the 12th house or the shadow sector for Virgos, because Mars wants to conquer the world. It wants to be very extroverted, very dynamic, very fiery, and especially when it's in Leo, a fire sign. But for Virgos and Virgo risings, the Mars in Leo is hanging out in your 12th house of the shadow. Often people feel really angry or depressed or stuck or literally imprisoned. Or most of us don't go to prison, but a lot of us could be feeling like, we're imprisoned in our relationships, in our responsibilities. So the Mars goes into Leo, into the 12th house, November the 3rd. Talked about it a lot last month. December the 6th, it goes retrograde until February the 23rd. But it's only going to be in your 12th house all of November, and in retrograde in the 12th house, December the 6th, till January the 6th. January the 6th, it's still retrograde for another 6 weeks or more. And still it's taking more effort, more frustrations, more being tired with the Mars in retrograde. But it's leaving the 12th house of what's going on behind the scenes and retrogrades back into the 11th house. The 11th house is networking and friendships and starting to look to the future. So it's a pretty good house. And I'll talk more about it in January's forecast, because the Mars doesn't retrograde back into Cancer, into your more favorable 11th house, not until January the 6th. Now, the positive of Mars in the 12th house, which I'm sure I mentioned some of this in last month's video, is you need a goal. You need a project to sink your teeth into. And being really driven and motivated to accomplish a goal. That's Mars. But it's in the 12th house. If you don't have a goal, if you're not motivated to succeed, then you're spinning your wheels, you're getting frustrated, and you're feeling like life is causing you're feeling like a victim of life and feeling really stuck. But if you have a big goal, that's the Mars, the retrograde, and in the 12th house, this is start there through November, is working behind the scenes to develop and accomplish a major project. Now that could be studying to get your higher degree, but that could take a lot of hard work. And you have to pull away, and you can't be social because you've got to spend a lot of time behind the scenes to get that higher education. Or if you're finishing a book, or if you are wrapping up a movie or a theater piece, that could be all of the rehearsals and the development. So that could be a good thing in the long term. But you got to build it initially, which was starting in November. From December the 6th to January the 6th, the retrograde Mars in the 12th house, the shadow sector, you might be feeling really stuck. So if you had these major goals and you were you're striving to accomplish these goals in November, you might be feeling, as we're going into December, that it's taking more effort. There could be more exhaustion. You're not even quite sure if you have the focus to accomplish the goal. And if there is a lot of irritability going on with your family life, then you may want, with the Mars in the 12th, you just may want to escape and hide, because that 12th house is what's hidden, and feeling frustrated. Now, before I go into the rest of what's happening, and I'll be talking about some good stuff, don't worry. But first, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right. Venus and Jupiter are the two great benefic energies, bringing a lot of prosperity and luck. Jupiter is in Gemini from the end of May 2024 into June 2025. I talk about this every month because Jupiter, expansive Jupiter in Gemini is 10 signs past Virgo. The 10th house sector in astrology is career. your professional reputation. Can be a lot of recognition and fame and leadership. And the Jupiter is at least trying to bring you more opportunities for growth and expansion. I'll get back to the Jupiter. Venus is that power of attraction, it's popularity, it's that contentment in life. We always start with Venus is love and romance. But there's a certain amount of this protection. Venus is going into Aquarius December the 6th, once a year, till January the 2nd. Venus in Aquarius is 6 signs past Virgo. Your Virgo rising, your Virgo sun sign. The 6th house deals with 3 big themes. Your day-to-day job routine, job skills. Venus can bring in more camaraderie, more harmony with coworkers. Your working conditions could get more pleasant and enjoyable. That's the Venus in the 6th house of work. It's also the 6th house of service. It's the holidays. A lot of people like to do more volunteer work for the holidays. And the Venus, you could be meeting new people, that's Venus, or you could also just be really feeling really the contentment, the enjoyment of service. And the other thing the 6th house represents is healthcare and self-improvement. And the Venus in the 6th is usually wanting to look good, or to start to really focus on having a healthier diet, to feel better about yourself. Now, the Jupiter in the 10th of career matters is going to be being squared or restricted by limiting Saturn. It's going to peak December the 24th. The end of December, beginning of January, and with Mars in retrograde, and just in general, Mars is work and labor and ambition and drive, and it's retrograde. So it's a time of resetting, reevaluating, your work tasks in general for the world. The Saturn is in Pisces in your 7th house of partnerships, whether that's professional or personal. Saturn is a 30-year cycle and moved into your 7th house in March of 2023 into the beginning of June 2025. Then it goes into the 8th house. But once every 30 years, these couple of years, 2023, 2024, halfway through 2025, Saturn in the 7th house. It's time to really work on, take accountability with contracts, partnerships, marriage. But the Saturn is also going to be in tension with expansive Jupiter in the 10th house of career matters. So it could be that a contract, an offer, a partnership of Saturn could be delaying or frustrating the whole career expansion. So there's a bit of a career, somewhat financial, but more contract partnerships situation that needs a resetting, or you're feeling kind of stuck and blocked for just a short time. And then as we get more into January, that Jupiter is, remaining in Gemini in your 10th house into early June, bringing more prosperity and luck. The Sun leaves Sagittarius December the 21st and goes into Capricorn. The new moon in Sag, the sun in Sag, is keeping your attention and priorities to home and family and property through the end of December. And that could be, hopefully, for most of you, very favorable for family gatherings for the holidays. But December the 21st, now the sun goes into Capricorn. And you're starting to open up and think about the sun in Capricorn moving into the 5th house of fun and games and romance and parties. And the sun in Capricorn remains there for the first 3 weeks of January. So the holidays with family or entertaining at home, because that's still that Sagittarius is impacting and influencing the 4th house of home and family. But the last week of December, now we're having the sun is putting a spotlight on the 5th house of children, of romance, vacations, entertainment. Now that becomes the major theme come January the 1st with the next new moon in Capricorn. So between that last week, for a lot of you, you could be really celebrating and enjoying family for the holidays. Now, out of the personal, the 4th house could mean property and real estate. And the 5th house can, as when we're talking about business and finance, because it's all this romance and creativity and fun and games, but in finance, it deals with investments and speculation. And so by the last week of December, some of you might be really thinking about, is this the time to invest in real estate? I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.